So did you do your homework? I hope so. Yesterday was a big day. If you watched yesterday's session, as well as our awesome video from Matt Plapp, hopefully it got you really thinking about marketing, right? Obviously, I'm a CPA. I'm not a marketing expert. Matt Plapp is. But what I do know is that what's missing in any of our forecasts, what's missing in any of our plans is the true potential of your location and the true potential of your company. And it might not be a potential that we're able to get to next week, but we have to start to think about that and realize the things that we can do every day to drive our top line revenue. Because as we get our team together and we get our team focused on the common goal of our weekly accounting and our weekly accountability, inevitably that allows you to be the driver of your organization. And part of that driver is driving sales, right? If you look at Howard Schultz from Starbucks, he's still driving Starbucks, finding new opportunities for Starbucks, involved in product development, involved in marketing, right? So as you build your role, and weekly accountability is the way to get there, this also should give you some weekly targets to say, I want my weekly number to be bigger. Whatever it is right now, there's no reason we can't grow it 5%, 10%. And so much of that, as we saw yesterday, comes down to holding our marketing accountable just like we would any other part of our business. Our food vendor, we have an expectation for our food vendor that they're going to give us quality product at a price that we agreed upon. The same would be true with our marketing. So hopefully yesterday you took the time to write out, what do you spend in marketing every week? And it isn't good enough to say, well, I do free things on Facebook. We want to be spending money in some level of marketing, even if it's mailers or flyers, or maybe it's I'm saving it up, but I do a special in October, something. We need to be paying attention to that. So today, what we're going to do in our challenge is move on from our forecast. So by now we have our weekly forecast set up for the next 4 weeks, right? We did that. We've looked at our marketing, and now we have our target. So by now we are also in the middle of the next week, because when we gathered our information, we gathered it using the 4 previous weeks. So now we're in the middle of the week. So what we want to do today is talk about our cash flow. So one of the things that you're going to do as an owner is be aware of your cash flow. Now, what you'll see in our course shell is our daily cash flow sheet. So what we do here is you are literally recording your cash flow every day. Now, you might say, why am I recording my cash flow every day, right? Like QuickBooks, it pulls it in, like there's automation. And that's true. But I'm a firm believer that as great as automation is, and as much as it saves us in time, there are times where we are going to want to track things. Because the one thing that automation isn't going to do is give us trends. It's not going to show us the change in your cash balance. It's going to just show you your daily cash balance, and then it goes away and it changes tomorrow. But what is that difference? So part of your weekly accountability is holding your business accountable every week. Because as entrepreneurs, so many of us don't really care about today, right? We are looking ahead. We're growing our business, we're growing our brand, and we have all these goals and ambitions for well beyond this week or this month. So in some respects, this weekly accountability may be a challenge to you because it's causing you to come in and look at today, even though you want to look ahead. Both are incredibly important, but this weekly accountability has to be solid for you to meet your goals. And part of your role, even though a lot of this we're working with our team, part of your role is going to be cash flow, that you have to know where you are with cash flow. This is probably the first lesson I think every business owner realized during COVID, when all of a sudden the shutdowns hit and restaurants are closed and can't serve or very little sales through third-party platforms. Overnight, your cash balance became the critical piece of the information on if you were going to make it through. And for a lot of restaurant owners, there wasn't a lot of cash there because you were in growth mode and you were spending and Who would think that sales weren't going to be in the next week? So overnight, knowing your cash balance was the critical piece of information. I have to know that I have $30,000 in the bank account and my payroll is $10,000. So I have 3 payrolls in my bank account right now. The other very important piece that I think was a big lesson during 2020 and really where this tool came from was not just what you started with, but what did it change? What if you're, shut down, what's the bleed rate? How much money am I losing every week? How much money am I earning every week? And with that information, I can make a decision. If I know I'm losing $5,000 a week and my payroll is $10,000, how many weeks can I go like that? And this is a hard tool for entrepreneurs, right? Because sometimes we don't want to see that we are losing money right now. But it's not a bad thing. You could be losing money this month because of a decision you made. You decided to do a build out and you're funding the second location with the first location. So I might be losing $5,000 a week, but that's because my second location isn't open yet and I'm carrying double payroll and all of this, right? All of those reasons are fine, right? This is judgment-free zone. I am not the accountant that's going to come in and criticize you for making these decisions. But I am going to say you have to know, as fearful as it might be at times. And I think so much of our avoidance of our cash balance is fear. Fear that we're not going to have enough. Fear that we're going to run out of money. And my only thing to you is, if you're fearing the cash, you need to look. Because that fear is going to get the best of you if you don't. Avoiding it is not the answer. Avoiding it leads to problems. So we have to find a way to rid ourselves of the fear. And that is why I think this tool is our most impactful tool, not just for your business, but for your life, because I guarantee that fear impacts the way you are outside of your business. It impacts your stress at home. It impacts being with your kids or your friends or your family. It impacts your mind racing at the dinner table when you're celebrating a family member's birthday. And I know because I've done the same thing, right? Being an entrepreneur is hard. You're standing in a room talking to a bunch of people and you're the only one who has this vision of what your business can become. It's a real thing. But I promise you, this daily cash flow check can make a huge difference in that fear, because every day you write down the balance. That's all you do. You write down your cash balance. And you might say, really, that's nothing. But I promise you, writing it down every day, what the sheet does is it shows you how much money did you really make last week. You think the business is profitable, but it lost $2,000. Maybe it's timing, right? And maybe in our world, in our head, we would just say, timing, it's fine, it'll work out. But will it work out? Let me track the next week. I lost $2,000 again. What am I missing? What am I not seeing when I look at my operations that look like I'm profitable? I have a loan, right? It's great that my business made $4,000 last month, but I paid $4,500 to the SBA. So I'm not gaining cash, right? I show a profit, but I have debt service. So I really need to make $6,000 to cover my debt. The cash flow is the missing piece, and it is the part that will calm you down in those moments of fear and will help you create a game plan for what the P&L needs to be. Because ultimately, if you're stressed because you feel like you're not taking home enough money, the answer is the cash flow. It's not the P&L, it's the cash flow. Could I take $5,000 out of my business this month and my business still be okay? What is the minimum cash that I want to have in my bank account and never get below, because I never want to go back to 2020 ever again? These are questions that only you can answer. And the starting point is our daily cash flow check. So I promise this is going to be eye-opening. So your homework today is to set up your daily cash flow work paper. Now, what you'll see in our course shell is there's also an instruction video that shows you how to work the sheet out. It's not going to be perfect at the beginning. And we're only in the 5th of August. So what I would say is start with August 1st. Now, if you really are motivated, do July. You literally record the bank balance every day, which you can get off of your online site. But the second part of this homework is this becomes one of your weekly accountability. This isn't something your bookkeeper does. This isn't something your accountant does. This isn't something your manager does. This is something you do, because if you are making the decisions for the company, you need to know the cash flow of your business. So good luck with the homework. You'll see it's actually very quick. It really should take, once you have it done, 5 minutes a day. I say 15, but that's if you have slow internet, because it's really check your bank balance and record it on the sheet. But as you'll see, that becomes impactful every day. So our goal is to get it set up starting with August 1st all the way through August 5th. And if you're really motivated, you could go back and do July as well. So I know you will find this eye-opening, and I challenge you to be open-minded and let go of the fear and see that there is a better way to run your business than being fearful.